Coming up on Mountain News this morning, officials with Appalachian Regional Healthcare say negotiators have reached a tentative contract agreement. And a West Virginia woman was rescued from her burning home by a couple of Good Samaritans, and it was caught on camera. And the President Trump administration is seeking to overturn the Affordable Care Act in the courts, but Democrats say not without a fight.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
It's 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. Let's go ahead and check in with Brandon Robinson for a look at your forecast. Brandon, maybe just a light jacket this morning, raincoat we've been saying, but not too bad out there.
And when the coolest temperature in the region this time of the morning is low 40s, that's not bad. I mean, it's still a little chilly, but it's not bad. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar this morning. Seeing a little green trying to show up there. Most of it back in toward central Kentucky, out toward northwestern Kentucky. But again, a few little spouty showers this morning across parts of our area. So just kind of keep that in mind. Maybe you need the umbrella for a minute or two. Shouldn't need it for too long. 43 now in Middlesboro. That's the coolest spot in the region. 60 or close to it there. Actually 61 in Moorhead. Just noticed that up there. Warmest spot in the region. So about a 20-degree swing or so for the most part this morning. But those valleys and ridges, that's the split there. 54 Paducah, 60 in Huntington, 45 Tri-Cities, and 54 up towards Cincinnati. Between the iced coffee and a normal day on the coffee meter. So it's Friday. Remember that. Cats play tonight. All kinds of good things going on today. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Macy.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Definitely need the coffee to get started, even on a Friday. A strike averted, well, potentially. Wednesday night, negotiators from ARH, the United Steelworkers Union, reached a tentative agreement. This is something both sides have been going back and forth on for more than a month. And as WYMT's Justin Case learned yesterday, the deal would end the possibility of a strike for the nearly 2,200 ARH employees represented by the union. Something that was on many minds in the days leading up to the tentative contract now on the table.
When asked about what the best part about this current tentative deal is, local union leaders in Harlan say,
we didn't take any concessions and we feel that we're in a good place.
Floyd Barnes says ARH negotiators trying to get union employees to take less, not just money, but other benefits like time off.
It's very unnerving until you feel like you've got something you can do that you can live with and be happy with for the next 3 years.
Paula Skidmore says it's a heavy burden, realizing she's not only fighting for the nearly 400 union employees here in Harlan, but the 2,200 across eastern Kentucky and West Virginia.
We didn't have a good feeling until yesterday, really, when we got to a tentative agreement.
And that pesky S word, well, strike. Skidmore says that's a tool at their disposal, but something they hope to avoid using.
You try to not go there a lot until you have to.
You always just keep it on the
because
back burner.
We've all been through that.
Local union leaders say they feel good about this current agreement. Now it's in the hands of employees represented by the union. They will vote on it Friday. A simple majority vote will approve the 3-year agreement.
We have a vote and to see if the contract gets ratified, which we feel good about it.
Making sure the men and women who keep us healthy are also taken care of.
The United Steelworkers Union represents ARH employees at nearly every ARH facility in our region. We're told employees will be voting today from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll update this story once we begin learning the results of that vote. Pikeville Medical Center has agreed to purchase property from the city of Prestonsburg. A plot of land will go toward the construction of a new outpatient center. The site is a former Music Carter Hughes car dealership on South Lake Drive. The Louisiana State Fire Marshal Office is investigating the cause of a fire that killed 2 children in Washington Parish early Wednesday morning. 3 other children hurt in the fire were airlifted to Baton Rouge hospitals. The state fire marshal said by the time they arrived, the home was up in flames. 2 adults and 3 kids made it out, but 2 other children did not. The condition of the children who were hurt in the fire is not known. A West Virginia woman was rescued from her burning home by a couple of Good Samaritans Tuesday. The incredible scene was caught on a neighbor's doorbell camera. Derek Hibbs and Rick Kendall were passing by when they noticed smoke coming out of the windows and a woman standing on the roof. It was then the two strangers knew they needed to get a ladder and get to the hose.
I thought, well, the fire department would be here soon enough, but then the smoke started to lower down and she was standing in the smoke, so I grabbed a ladder and headed this way.
Looking at the video of the rescue, you can see Hibbs grabbing onto Kendall's ladder to help the stranded woman as the neighborhood fills with smoke. Neighbors say they have been in contact with the family after the fire and say they're doing well as they look for their new home. 18 people have been killed and 19 hospitalized after a truck accidentally plowed into a crowd of people in western Guatemala on Wednesday evening. The truck struck a group of people who had gathered on the road after another person was hit by a car. The president of Guatemala originally cited 30 dead. That number has since been revised down by the Guatemalan rescue officials. The government has declared 3 days of national mourning. More than 50 years ago, a crash here in the mountains in Letcher County claimed the lives of 5 young eastern Kentuckians. The crash happened in the Blackie community where the memory of the boys and of that night has lived on. Community members have worked together to establish a mile marker to make sure no one ever forgets what happened.
The trees, everything looked different. The community looked different. The people were different. There was a hurt. Everybody was hurt, and it just devastated.
The mile marker dedication will take place Saturday. More information is available on our website, WYMT.com. President Trump's administration says problems are brewing along the southern border. Officials say enforcement agencies are stretched thin by a huge number of asylum seekers. Aid groups say they're struggling to meet the needs of those detained at the border. John Lornick reports.
President Trump calling the situation at the U.S.-Mexico border a national emergency, and he's taking action.
And I'm telling you right now, we will close the border.
The Department of Defense is looking for sites to build new barriers between the two countries, according to 2 DoD officials.
Now think of it. Walls work, folks. We need the wall.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says the goal is to build 46 miles of fencing near El Paso, Texas, and 11 miles at Yuma, Arizona.
We're going to be showing you vast sections of brand new, beautiful wall.
As plans to boost the barrier move forward, there's another concern within the administration. Border Patrol facilities are bursting at the seams, and so are non-governmental agencies that have opened their doors to migrants.
We're already stretched. 100 would take us above and beyond the number we've ever experienced.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is calling on Congress to make legal changes that would allow U.S. officials to deport migrant children more quickly. Nielsen says a potential overflow of children in DHS custody represents our most acute humanitarian risk. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The president told Republicans this week he wants health care to be a major issue in 2020. His administration is seeking to overturn the Affordable Care Act in the courts, but Democrats say not without a fight. Earlier this week, the Justice Department filed a court document in support of striking down the Affordable Care Act, President Obama's signature health care law. Democrats credit their health care platform with winning the House in the 2018 election. They say the White House is in for a fight.
All would be ended if the president gets his way. We will fight that. We'll fight that in the Congress. We'll fight it in the court, and we'll fight it in the court of public opinion.
The answer is for the administration to work with Congress and present a plan to replace and fix the law.
While the debate plays out, health care coverage for tens of millions is at risk of the law if the law is struck down. The Trump administration's efforts to repeal much of health care law filed in the Senate in 2017 when the late Senator John McCain gave a thumbs down for the vote. During a Senate hearing with the nominee for Secretary of the Interior Department, a protester disrupted the proceedings. It's how the protester was dressed that drew social media attention. The man donned a swamp creature costume during the Senate Energy and National Resource Committee hearing Tuesday morning. He sat there for 2 hours. You can see him in the background before he was removed from David Bernat's confirmation hearing. Bernat is a former oil and gas industry lobbyist, and he worked under Ryan Zink in the Interior Department. A conservation group has referred to Bernat as a DC swamp creature. His confirmation to the position requires a Senate vote. The city of Chicago wants $130,000 from actor Jussie Smollett, and they want it in the next 7 days. That's how much it says is needed to offset costs of the criminal investigation into an alleged hate crime against Smollett. The Chicago Police Department says it spent 2 weeks looking into the actor's false claims, which amounted to overtime for 24 officers.
Well, the forecast this morning, not too bad so far. Mild in some locations, a little cooler in others. But the big thing you need to know today, take the umbrella with you. Not raining yet on the UVA WISE cam, but it will be at times today. Very scattered chances, and you'll see those there on the loop last 6 hours. We've already seen a few this morning, but again, back and forth all day. But it doesn't hurt to be safe rather than sorry. Temperatures this morning, 43 Middlesboro, 49 Hazard, 46 Harlan, 56 Jackson, 59 Prestonsburg, 58 Pikeville. So you know what that means. Ridge Valley split this morning. 69 is your forecast high, the average high of 62 for this time of the year. Record high of 84 set back on this day in 1998. Macy.
All right, thank you, Brandon, and thank you so much for joining Mountain News this morning, but still a lot more on the way. One retired big league baseball player is doing what he can to make a change. We'll share his story with you coming up. And ever worried about being able to find your pet if they go missing? Well, one picture might be all it takes to bring that pet home.